All right, we are now recording. This is the Opportunities Prep to Get Paid class for KW Philly. And welcome for all of you from across the river from me. Hope you're all doing well. And just in a moment, I will get started on the class and I'll share my screen. We had one question about, is this the only way to get paid? And in my world, over in the Monmouth and Ocean County offices in New Jersey, yes, this is the only way to get paid. And I'm hoping that your offices are moving in that direction too. I'm sure they are. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions that they would like me to tackle during this hour before I just get started? Okay. If anything comes up, please put it in the chat box. I will make an effort to monitor that as much as possible. And on occasion during the class, I will stop and ask for questions. What I'm also going to do is, if you've been with me before, I'll do an overview of all the information, and then I'll do a live version. So between that, I will also ask questions as well. All right, so again, thanks. I got a baker's dozen on the call today, so that's pretty cool. Thank you. And let me start sharing my screen. Okay, we're gonna flip over to my slideshow. So you should be able to see. Okay, and we're going to go from the beginning. All right, can you all see Opportunities Prep to Get Paid? Excellent. Thanks, Allison, for letting me know. So this is specifically designed for you at your Philly Market Center. So thanks for being here. And if you haven't been with me before, my name's Dawn Ochs. I've been a realtor since 2002, and I've been with Keller Williams since 2004. I quickly joined the Agent Leadership Council when I became a Keller Williams agent. We started teaching way back when, the Camp 443. If anybody's been here that long, you remember that. And so I realized that I do have a passion for teaching and coaching, and that's what's brought me here today. I am a certified market center trainer and a productivity coach, and currently I'm the tech driver for all of Adele DeMoro's offices in the Monmouth and Ocean County area. I have some more people that have joined. I'm going to mute all of you. Okay, so now you're all muted. If anybody has a question and you'd like to unmute yourself, that's good. Okay, too. All right, so let's move forward. So steps to commissions. So we're talking about how to get paid, and this is out of the command opportunities. So the steps are pretty simple. All you would need to do to start getting paid is create the contact. Now, last week we talked about creating the contact, and it was a very simple process. And we also talked about why it's important to use contacts in your database. And I use them at a high level. The steps to commissions, you just create the contact. You have to have that person in your database before you create the opportunity. Then you're going to add your documents. Now today we're not going to talk about DocuSign, that's for tomorrow's class. And I'll just show you how to attach to DocuSign and come back, and then you're going to add the documents into your opportunity and submit those documents to your market center for review. And then you're going to create an offer. And creating an offer is step 5, and that's something that we haven't been used to through your .loop system before. And then once your offer is created, you would accept the offer, and then you would submit for commission. So that's the 6-step overview of how to do that. And we'll go into a little in depth. Of course, creating the contact is simple. We did that last week. You go to the people icon on your command database, and then you just click add contact. Often when I teach, I tell you anything that you have to find on your command system, you look for the green button. There's usually the next action that you do is identified by a green button. So you click add contact. And if you simply want to use command just to make sure that you submit your documents and get yourself paid, you only need to put their first and last name into the database, and then you can move forward, and the next action would be to create the opportunity. Okay? Creating the opportunity is very simple. You're going to go to the opportunity icon, and it's identified by the handshake. So go to the handshake and create the opportunity and add the required information. As you see on my screen, if you can see my cursor, there are little red asterisks that the required information. So those are the things that are required. On the bottom, you'll see commission rate is also required. So the commission rate, and a lot of people will ask me this question, what do I put in there for the commission rate? I don't even know yet. I'm going to get the listing, or I'm working with a buyer. I don't know what the commission rate is. Well, you know what an average rate would be, and you can put the average rate in for now to create the opportunity. Later on, once you create the opportunity and you know what your commission side is, then you can fix it. The other question is it the total commission or is it just my side? So if the total commission is 5, then and your commission is 2.5, and you're giving out 2.5, the commission rate that you enter into the opportunity is the 2.5. Okay, whatever it is on your side of the transaction, that's what you enter into that field. All right. So the next thing is that you would add documents. And this is showing you the screen of the details page and the documents section of that opportunity. And our market centers, and I believe yours have too, have created these folders inside of your opportunity and the placeholders to add the documents. Okay. You'll notice here the Go To Transaction button is green. When you first go into the transaction opportunity, the transaction button is in black, and that just means that that's the first time that you're going to connect yourself to your software, whether it's DocuSign or .loop or something different. Okay, so you connect through the transaction button. And then once you have all signed documents in your software package for your transactions, then you just upload them into your opportunity in this page. You can either add them all at one time by clicking the Attach Multiple Files button, or you can attach one at a time. All right. And then once you have all of your documents into the system here, you would just click the Submit to MC button. So now your Market Center will have all the documents that are compliant for your transaction. Remember, Command is simply to house all the documents for review, all the compliant documents that are required in your state for your office to hold for that transaction. You can choose to add other documents into the system if you want to use it for your entire file and all the documents that you would need for everything, or you can choose to put the rest of the documents into your DocuSign or .loop files. So either one, the only thing that's required in here is what is necessary for your office. Okay. So the next thing, this is different from what we were used to in the process before. And this is click new offer, create an offer. And once you click the create new offer, this is the screen you'll have. You'll see this. And the reason why they're asking you to add the offer to the command opportunity is that you need to tell the system what the numbers are that were agreed to. So you have to tell the system not only the customer that you're working with, which when you started the opportunity way back, and let's say that that was weeks ago and you started this opportunity with a buyer or a seller, and now you are moving into a transaction, and now you give the information to the system. So you're going to tell the system what the contract was agreed to for the price that it was agreed at, and then the deposit monies and the finance funding, and then who the other parties are. So that would be important for the offer. If you guys are like us, we're going crazy with the offers these days. We have tons of multiple offers. The Create Offer page is a great way to manage multiple offers. And if we have time at the end of class, I'd love to show that to you as well. All right, once you create the offer, you enter the required data and then you click Accept Offer. That tells the system that's the one that is going into closing. And then that will unlock the commissions tab. So this little item, it's called Accept Offer. That is the key to unlocking that commissions tab. Okay, we're going to go into that in the live version in a little while. Okay, so this is your commissions tab. This replaces the green sheets. I know the agents in our market center, they're super excited that they don't have to do green sheets any longer. And it's just very simple. If you have followed everything in the system along the duration of your transaction, then this part is super simple. And all you need to do is when you get to the commissions tab, you're going to verify that the information that you have told it in the past is correct, that your general information for the sale is accurate, and then you're going to go to edit agent payment. And you see on the right-hand side, this is the agent breakdown. Now, some of you might be saying, hey, this looks a little different. They had an update this week. So the update for the commissions tab has been awesome. Now the agent, if you change the agent units, you can automatically calculate the agent dollar commission. So that works really well. The face of this looks a little different. So there are some really great improvements. Basically, all you're doing is you're reviewing that the sales price and the total commission are accurate. You're going to add the contract and the close dates. You see on this screen, there's a little error message over on the left side. I did not add the contract date. I wanted you to see that so that when you get there, you don't feel like there's something wrong. And then on the last piece of the information here, just move this along, is the agent breakdown. So you see on the right side, the agent breakdown is myself as the agent and the total commission, and I can choose to change that if I'd like. Okay. So the next field, the next thing you do is once you hit the submit button, let me go back one screen. Once you save the changes and they automatically populate over here, then you just click the submit button. Once you click that, then you'll see this screen, okay? And it'll give you the summary of the payments. So you're reviewing the correct commission. You add a note if necessary. So this is a notation area that you can actually send a note over to the MCA or the compliance coordinators that you're working with. And then you submit your commission to the market center, okay? So that would be all that you would need to do. All right, so now I would like to open it up for any questions that you have before I go to the live screen. Oops. Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to do the live version. I know you're all so quiet. I'm not that scary. Is the heat getting to you guys?
No, this is actually great. I like the way you pulled the sections into different parts was really helpful versus trying to look at the whole screen and follow you.
Awesome, awesome. Okay.
Where do you put a referral?
Oh, we're going to get to that. Yeah, in the commission part, it's at the very end, and it's adding an item into the agent notes, so the agent breakdown. And Joe, I'll definitely show you how to do that. Okay, because that's important. And do you guys have productivity coaches in your market center?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the productivity coaches, I'm sure, would like to get paid as well. And I'll show you how to add the productivity coach and a referral into the commissions. All right. Any other questions about documents or how to start the commission or of the opportunity? Anything like that? Josh, I love the thumbs up. Thank you. Awesome. So I'm going to flip over to the live version of Command. Let me go back over to here and go to my Command dashboard. Here we go. Okay, so as we started in the beginning of this class, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to add a contact. And if you're only doing this for your commission or to get paid, like I said before, you just have to add the first and last name. Now, let me just preface this. If you can't see the right side of my screen, you can move the Zoom pictures around the screen. You might want to put them like either dead center or up above because I do a lot of action items on the right-hand side of the screen. So you could take your screen, move that around. On the right side right now is the Add Contact button. So you want to make sure you add contact. This is what we talked about the other day, and I'm sure that you guys all remember that we did this. I'm just going to add one of our agents from our Spring Lake Market Center, and that's all I need just to create that. Okay, now click the opportunities. Remember, the opportunity is the handshake. And this dashboard will give you the information in order for you to see what your pipeline is. Your pipeline is what transactions and opportunities do I have to earn business that are coming in the future. That's your pipeline, right? What's your lead pipeline? This is not specifically to follow what you closed. It's really to see what's coming. What do you have to work on? All right. Anything that's in the active, under contract, or closed area here will tell you what your potential and your probable income is. Now you see over on the right side, my potential income is $350,000 and my probable income is 105. That's just out of the listings. There's buyer section and then there's a lease section down below. Okay. The reason why it's different is that the potential income is pulling the data from all of the opportunities that I have in here. Now, those of you who have met me before, you've known that I do a lot of training. I wish my business had $450,000 in listing opportunity. It's all basically training. So it's telling me that I have a potential income of 350 out of the cultivate and appointment section, and that I have 105 from the active and under contract section. Okay, so that's what that means. Let me create the opportunity. And today I'd like to show you how to create a buyer side opportunity. So the market center needs to be identified. Now I'm attached to 4 market centers. So there's a drop down here which will ask me to choose which one I need to, where the opportunity is coming from. Now, if you are attached to multiple market centers, you want to make sure that you choose the one where your Keller Williams user ID is attached to. Where do you get paid from? That's important because we just had an issue yesterday where an agent chose something incorrectly and she couldn't get paid. We couldn't process the DA sheet. So you want to make sure that that's accurate. Also, if you're on a team, I am not on a team. If you are on a team, your team name will show up here. And then there'll be another couple of items in here about choosing the owner and the assignee of the opportunity. The listing type is required. I'm going to choose buyer today. All right, and the owner, I'm the owner of the opportunity. I'm the owner of the income that's coming in from this transaction, okay? Now the client, you just saw me enter the client name, Kelly, and I can just click on Kelly, and I'm gonna put, okay. That'll just give me the information, and my custom tag has to be training class. Now, you don't have to use custom tags. That's not a required field. I use it when I'm training. The only other items that are required on this page are commission rate. And remember, I mentioned that I'm going to choose my side of the commission, which would be likely in my area. And then the phases and stages. Now you see the phases. If I'm working with a buyer or I just met them at an open house, I can choose if they're in appointment phase or active phase. Okay, let's say she's active in searching. So we're searching for houses. Over here, people are writing like 4 and 5, 6 deals just to try to find a property. Okay, now I'm looking at the details of the buyer profile. One thing that we learned just recently, and especially when it comes to leases, leases have fewer items up here. You don't have the offer tab. The one thing that I wanted to share with you that we just learned in the update this week is that you have to add the property address in this field in order to pull from the KWLS, especially when it's for leases. So you can either do it here or you can do it later when they ask you to pull the KWLS, okay, on the buyer profile. Now go to documents. This is where we are going to pull documents. Remember when I mentioned before the start transaction button is now black because I created a brand new opportunity. The other items on this page are important. There's a consultation folder and an under contract folder. Now, these are the folders that my market center have created for the agents to upload the documents. And these are the placeholders that we have created for them so that they remember which documents are required by our market center. I believe that your market center has created these placeholders for you, all of the agents, to use. So now that you see that these are all the items that are either required or conditionally required, okay? It tells me that I don't have anything uploaded in these placeholders yet. If I wanted to add a custom folder with all additional documents, I can do that here. But the important thing is we haven't even started our transaction yet, and we have no documents in order to pull from. So the first thing I wanted to show you is use the drop down if you have it, because I have .loop and DocuSign actually connected to my command settings. So click DocuSign, of course, because we're starting with DocuSign. Now what this is doing is it's going over to DocuSign and it's creating, it's going to ask me to sign in again. This happens quite often, so hopefully you won't get frustrated with that. Okay, it's creating a room in DocuSign. Oops. Okay, there we go. So it will create a room over on the DocuSign side. And you see the top left side of this page says KW Philly Training, and Kelly Reagan was the client that I put in here, and it says buyer. It will pull information if you've given some details, but the first thing that I tell people to do is always go to details and fill in all those details. We're going to go deeper into this tomorrow. So let's just say I added things in here, and I'm going to then go to documents, and I need to add documents to this. The reason why I'm showing you this now is that I want to show you how to pull the documents from DocuSign into Command so that you can get paid. So let me add DocuSign forms. And in our Market Center, we have created groups for our agents just to grab and go. And I know that this is the one for West Monmouth. It's called Sales, You Represent the Buyer. So I'm going to click that, select all, because I know that all of those forms are required. And I just click Add. Okay? It will bring all those documents in the room. Now, let's just say I write these contracts, I get them signed, I have everything fully executed, and now the time has gone by, and we're in our Market Center, we ask that we submit these documents 14 days after attorney review. That's what our world looks like. So your compliance coordinators may have a timeline for you as well. Once everything is fully executed and signed and ready to go, and all the documents are compliant, you want to pull them over into Command. So I'm going to jump back over to Command. And now I'm uploading them here. It's very simple. As long as you started this process from the Command side, connect to DocuSign, fill in your documents, then you can pull them very simply in here. If you broke that and went to DocuSign first, you can still get these here. You just have to download and upload into Command. All right, so let's show you how to attach multiple files all at one time, because I know you agents, you're just like our agents here in New Jersey, you like to move fast. You like to get things done, I'm sure. So now I want to do this all at one time. I'm going to choose DocuSign on this screen. Okay, now it just pulled over all the information that I have in DocuSign, and it's asking me what document is in DocuSign that needs to be pulled into this position. So let me go down to the CIS form, and I know that it's down here towards the bottom. Okay, and my dual agency form should be in here. Sometimes I choose the wrong one, and that's okay. We can always change that. And so the seller's dual agency, I don't need. Let me go to the, I assume you guys have hold harmless forms over there in Pennsylvania, like we do in New Jersey for COVID. All right, we have our affiliated business forms, which we have a couple of companies that we're affiliated with for insurance and title. And I'm just adding those in here. And now this is our contract. Our contract is about 14 pages long. And then if it doesn't have the wire fraud notice, then we have to attach that as well. And then there may be a couple other forms in here that are required. But I can attach all of those at one time, and you'll see the little circles. They're circling and pulling the forms in. And if you look on the bottom here, you'll see that the form I chose is listed right here. If I chose the wrong form, I can go to the 3 dots and I can remove it, or I could print it if I wanted to. Okay. Do we have any questions up to this point? Because I talked about a lot of things, and before I keep going, I want to just check in with you and see if there were any questions up to the attaching documents to command. All right, you guys are all quiet. That's okay. If everything's good, I'll keep going. All right, awesome. So once you connect all of your documents in command, you would want to click the Submit to Market Center button. That makes all of your documents go over to your Market Center. It's click of the button. Now in our world, even just 4 years ago, before we adopted Dotloop, we literally had to print out all the papers, all the documents, and then drive them to the office and drop them off in the front desk, right? So gone are those days that we have to drive all over the place, getting signatures and dropping off of all of our documents. We just click that little button, and the compliance department will see all of your documents, okay? The thing I wanted to show you here is you can communicate to your compliance department by adding comments. This is easily done by clicking that button. You can simply type a comment in here, or you can add the @ symbol and direct your comment to anybody in your market center. And these are the people that in our world, they review our compliance. So I'm going to send one over to Hope, because I know she reviews all of the sales documents. And I'm going to just say, hi, Hope. We're just teaching a class. Have a great day. Okay. And then I would click that, and she would get a notification both on her Kelly and on her notification bell up here in her command system. She would also see it if she goes into the opportunity as well. And then once she sends a note back to you, it would do the same thing. There will be a future update where all of the notes and the notifications will be emailed to you in your preferred email, and then so that you'll know when things are coming in. But typically, if you are lead generating every day and you're writing business every day, you'll be in your command every day, and you'll see when the notification bell is lit. Okay. I just noticed they're teaching a class at KWRI, so that's the on air button that you see up there. Okay. So what else can I show you here? That was the add comment. And if you needed to add an item, sometimes we have items that come up that are important documents. You can add a document into the system just by clicking add item. And you might want to, I don't know, we have elevation certificates around the beach areas, and then you can just choose what kind of type it is. It's a disclosure. And then I can manually drag that up from my computer. Okay, and that's all that I would have to do. And let's see, I'll just throw this one in here just for teaching purposes. And now it shows up way down here. Okay, and again, if I wanted to remove it, if I put something in there that didn't belong, I can edit it, or I can remove it just quickly like that and remove. All right. So that's how you add documents to your system. Now, if you come back in here and you need to jump back over to DocuSign, you can go through the go to transaction button, it'll take you right to that opportunity room on the DocuSign side. But here's the next thing that we need to do in order to get paid. And that's the important part of this class, right? Getting paid. The offers tab. There's an offers tab and then there's a commissions tab. Okay, so let me go to offers first. Offers is the key to getting the commissions to unlock. Okay, so the offer, even if you're on the buyer's side, you have to tell the system what offer the buyer and seller agreed to. Okay, so you're clicking create new offer. You can name it anything that you'd like. Okay, so click create offer. And now, again, whatever name you give it, you do have to give it an offer date and then a potential close date. And for some reason, the system thinks that we can close deals in 3 days. I know in New Jersey we can't. I'm pretty sure in Pennsylvania you can't close a deal in 3 days. So I'm just going to choose a date. Let's just say the end of July. Even that is a little bit challenging. And then you want to select the property address right here from the KWLS. Now remember, the KWLS is not just Keller Williams listings. I'm going to pull up an address and I'm going to choose here all listings. Hopefully you can see that on the right side of the screen. Make sure that you choose all listings and you'll get listings that are listed from every company that's out there in your area. So it pulls from all the MLS systems. I'm just going to choose one of the ones that I've had before and I'm going to throw that in here. So 632 Bayview Avenue. Let's see, this is a, let me see. This is a $529,000 house in West Creek, New York. I'm just going to select that one. It's listed by a different company. I wanted to show you that you can click any of them that are listed. And next, I'm just going to select the parties. Now, it doesn't pull the seller information in. I can just choose a seller and just type a seller in there. And it is pulling the representation. So it pulled right from the MLS the information for that agent. So really the only thing that I did was I selected the property and I put the seller's name in there. Now I'm going to go to the terms. How much is this offer? So let's say that they're putting $50,000 in cash and they're putting $500,000 financing. I know that doesn't really work, but let's just say that that's what it was. In the event that you have any of these items included in your deal, you can add them now. Earnest amount, it's not a required field to put that all down there, but earnest amount would be the total amount of cash that they're putting down on that property. And then if there are any contributions from the seller requested, then you can add it there. And then you go to agent analysis. Now this is where multiple offer management is really important. If you have multiple offers on the listing side, you can add notations for the pros and cons and your summary and create a spreadsheet for your seller. And then you can have a better high-level communication with that seller in reference to what offer to choose, okay? And all we do is save. So that was the offer process, all right? Now you see the commissions tab is still in gray. It's not highlighted here. There is an information button and it tells you you will be able to view commission when you have an accepted offer, okay? So as soon as I click that green accept button, that commissions tab is going to open up and unlock, all right? So let me do that right now. So I'm clicking accept and you'll see it's going to circle and now you can click on it. All right, so let me go to commissions. And you'll notice it asks you for a contract date. It's missing the contract date here. It doesn't pull over the contract date, I guess just in case that changes. So edit the general information is right here. Now, what happened was the system is pulling the information that you have given it from the beginning. If you were a listing agent, you would have added the listing information in the beginning and it would have pulled that information through, including the commission rate and the listing price, but then the offer is pulling what the agreement was. So here, it's pulling the information, the sales price from the offer, the commission rate from the beginning of the opportunity when we first put it in. If that commission rate changed at the time of contract, you change it here. And then your total commission comes out to $13,750. There's one total unit. All transactions count as one unit because the system is designed to be working on one side of the deal. It can be divided by other agents that participate in that side of the deal, okay? They're asking you to add your contract date. And let me just put the contract date. Let's just say it was today, June 25th already. So let's save those changes. All right, now the general information is accurate. Now I go down to the payment information for the agent breakdown. And as you see, there's a couple of items here. Number one is add another agent and add co-broker payment. Now, in New Jersey, we as the market, our market centers, our companies do not pay the cooperating broker. Josh, can you tell me if you guys pay the cooperating broker or does that come right out of the closing?
No, in my experience, it comes right out of the closing. I don't believe that we pay.
Okay, that sounds exactly like what we do. So thank you for answering that. And so we would not be using this add co-broker payment. We would use add another agent in the event you are sharing with another agent, splitting it with the team, paying a coach. So any of those things, that's how you add the other agent. And we're going to edit the agent payment breakdown. Here's the important part where you start is that your gross commission, if you are sharing this commission with anyone, you need to change this number to be less than the total. Okay, so let's just say that I'm paying a coach 10%. So I can change the unit to 0.9, and then I can have this calculate to that percentage. All right, that was a new update. Prior to a week ago, the units and the commission did not calculate each other. They were working independently. You can still do that, but you can calculate it now if you need to. So that's an improvement. And then here, there's the 3 deductions if you'd like to be charitable and you donate either to KW Cares Kids Can, or any Bold scholarships. You can add your donations here. And then in our area, we have MLS adjustments, and we can add an item. So if I was the buyer agent on a deal in New Jersey, I would be paying the seller, the listing agent, the MLS fee, and we call that a deduction. Okay, so let's say that the fee is $150. Josh, do you guys have this? You can just shake your head if you do or do not. You don't have that. Okay, so in the event you have any other deduction, you can add a description, who it gets paid to, and then the phone number. I'll just cancel this if you guys don't do that. If you have any other type of standard deduction, I can go over that as well. So if no other items need to be added, you just save those changes. Now remember, I reduced my commission by 10% so that I could add my coach. And that's why I have these 2 alerts right here. It says the remaining agent commission balance is $13.75 and the remaining unit is 0.1. They're asking, what are we doing with that, Dawn? We need to disperse that. So now I go over to add another agent. And your, let's say your coach or your co-op, your agent that's on this transaction or team member, they all have to be in your market center in order to do it this way. So you choose agent name, and I'm going to choose Carol Mazzola as she's one of our coaches. It already calculated that she is due 10% of the deal because that's what I told the system just 2 minutes ago for my agent breakdown. It's looking for the rest, okay? And then it will automatically calculate. All right. Okay, let me save the changes. Why didn't it show up? Okay. All right, it certainly did. So it's paying Carol the $948, and it's paying me $11,632. And then if that's accurate, if all things are accurate in the system there and nothing else needs to be changed, then I can just submit it. Okay. Now, before we started, somebody asked about how to add a referral. That's simply the same thing you did in adding another agent. Okay, hold on. It's actually in add item. So in my payment information, I'm going to edit agent payment. Okay. So down here, you would add an item. Okay, just like I was trying to show you before with an MLS item, you change it to outside referral. So let's just say that I'm going to pay out. Now, last week, this didn't work in percentage. No, you have to change the amounts. Let me see. Let me just put $2,000. It's calculating 14%. Be very careful with this. I actually had an issue. I was paying out 25% to another agent in another company. And when the check went through, it automatically adjusted to a different number. So just make sure that you do the calculation properly. So clearly the $2,000 is not 25% of the deal, which is what we would normally do. Let me just change this to 4,000. All right, and that's a little bit more than 25. You definitely need the EIN number from your the other agent, the referring agent, and you need to add their tax ID. So we use the W-9 form. So retrieve that from the other agent, and the EIN number and the tax ID would be on that W-9 form, and you would just add it in here. It has to be accurate. It can't be one that we make up just for training, okay? The broker company name, let me just put KW Philly, and then I'm gonna put Joshua. Okay, and I don't remember your address, but I'm just gonna put an address in here for our market center because I know it off the top of my head. And the phone number, let me just throw a phone number in here. All right, clearly you would want to put the right address and phone number in there so that the MCA can reach out to the other administrator to fund the referral properly. Okay, and then you just add it and save changes. And now you see that there's an outside referral right here. Okay, so that's how you conduct the outside referral piece. All right, I'm going to open it up to any questions. As I've mentioned a lot of the pieces to this. So does anyone have any other questions?
Yeah, Dawn, Josh Brand here. Thanks a lot for again, your time. Breaking it down, and I think Carol actually brought it up, from our split with the market center, do we associate from the pay to office? Would we break that down individually? And if so, how does that work via the communication with our MCA as far as caps go? Because we could cap out both on royalty as well as office dollar on different amounts. Will they, alter it on their end, or are we responsible for making sure we know at what point we're capping?
Okay, so that is important. And some of this isn't 100% accurate as far as the cap and the splits go on my end. So the first thing that you're seeing is the cap and the structure and how much you've added to the cap based on, this is actually just based on the opportunities and where you are. It's not 100% accurate, because if I'm creating this today and it doesn't close for 3 or 4 weeks, there may be something that closes in between time, which would change the actual cap. So this information is translated by the MCA into the Winmore system. So the Winmore system has the accurate day-to-day cap structure. Okay, and so they will be able to tell, like on that specific deal, whatever deal you're capping on, and then if there's any balance that is on 100%. So this will give you somewhat of a picture or a view as to where you are in your cap, although it may not be 100% accurate when this closes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
And into the question, do we put in our split with the brokerage, or is that something that traditionally is handled through the MCA? And if so, obviously that's for a separate conversation, but
Right.
just so everybody's clear.
Right. So typically you would be having a conversation with your team leader in MCA, and it would be set in the Winmore system. So in this case, like for this, Carol is right now she's on 100%, so she must have capped. Okay, so this particular coach has capped, and I won't be able to see. You notice that there's no wheel, there's no information here. I can't see that where Carol is in her compensation. But on mine, it's saying that I'm 20% towards my cap. Or 20, I'm on an 80-20, I think, because of what I do for the market center. So our cap is 27,000. All right, my actual is 0 because I rolled over. So I haven't had an actual balance just yet. All right.
Understood.
So yeah, you'll be able to see your own. You won't be able to see the other members on this breakdown. Okay. So the cap structure is set in the Winmore system, and the actual day-to-day accrued value of your cap is in Winmore. And then month over month, you'll still be able to get them in the report section on KW.
Got it. So we don't have to put in our percentages when we're inputting all this information. The only deductions we would make is 1, whether or not we're working with a coach, and 2, if there's an outside referral source.
Outside referral, any other agents on your side of the deal, and then the donations, the additional deductions, which would be in the charitable donations. Yeah, much simpler than the green sheet, right? Yeah, yeah. So I'm sorry, and I don't know how to say your name. There was a question in reference to Teams. So in Teams, you won't be able to see it on my screen because I'm not a member of a team. But when the team structure comes in, there's in the details section, it asks which is the owner of the opportunity, and it's the Rainmaker is allowed to set the permissions for each agent on the team. And that would be whether the agent can create an opportunity that only they're getting paid on, or the agent cannot create an opportunity that is separate from the team, which will designate which fields you're going to see. So the teams, most likely you'll see the team name, the owner of the opportunity, which is the person who's working with the client, and then the Rainmaker is on the team. Now, some teams are very, very detailed. We have a team at West Monmouth that pays out from each deal. They pay out people that are in admin services on the team. So it's not only there was 2 Rainmakers, there was the agent who was working with the clients, and then there was 2 or 3 admins. So they had an enormous green sheet at the time. So the team version of Command, it's just a little different because you're just, the members on the team should show up on this field, on this page, without having to add them one at a time. As long as they're designated from the beginning as to who is working the opportunity. Okay? Great question though, and unfortunately with my system, I'm a single agent, so I can't show you. You're welcome. I can't show you the team version. All right, we're working. Actually, the tech drivers are working on trying to get a demo account so that we can show that system for the teams. So what other questions do we have? Because that's how you go from meeting a client, putting their contact information into the system, finding the opportunity to actually work with them and go through the transaction where you create the opportunity and add the documents, the offers and commissions. If you'd like, I'll show you what offers look like if you have a multiple offer situation, if there's no other questions for now. Okay, so let me show you a previous, let me go back to sales pipeline. This is one version of the dashboard. You can look at all opportunities by selecting this button, and then it's just a different way to look at them. I'm going to jump over to this because we do a lot of training in here in this opportunity. And you'll see when I go to the documents section, you'll be able to see contract. When the compliance coordinators approve your documents, this is what you'll see. Okay, so you'll know whether it's approved, and then there's also a status that they can change on the opportunity itself. So the status was approved last. See, we've been working on this since last August. That's why this is a lot older, and we've been using this as our test subject pretty much. There's an approved status for the under contract folder. You'll notice that the listing folder didn't have an approved contract, an approved status. However, the first version of it did. So we changed it, and we had rejected documents, we had replaced documents. So there's a lot to this system, okay? And you can actually communicate. You'll see that there's a notation here, and that's how we communicated notes back and forth. So that's adding to the system. So let me also go to the offer section. You see over here, we have 9 offers that were put into this opportunity. And what we did is we wanted to show the agents what it would be like when they had multiple offers. Goodness, and last August, we weren't having this issue. Now we are, right? I know we are. I hope you guys are too. It's a interesting time for an agent in this between the pandemic and multiple offers, all kinds of stuff. So if you've had multiple offers as an agent, you can add each one of them into the system very simply by adding a new offer. And I showed you how to do that just a little bit ago. There's another thing that you can do is generate an offer URL, which means that you can actually send this out to agents or clients just to give you a little bit of information before they get all their paperwork done, okay? So that's another option here and a great little tool to use in the system. If I select all and then I compare offers, you should be able to see a nice spreadsheet here that I can share with my client. So let's say I'm working on the listing side and I've entered, some of this has been entered by me, or I've emailed that offer URL out to somebody and they added the information themselves and it dropped right in here. So now I can download this spreadsheet, I can email this to my client, or I can just look at this and have that deeper conversation and say, these are all the offers that came in. Some of them are all cash, some of them are financing. There's some that are pre-approved, and I've reviewed all the offers and I've given you my pros and cons. And so this is what we've come up with. Josh, what do you think about this? Have you seen this before?
I have not. Actually, I have. I take that back. I have, but not in its entirety as I've seen it with, this many offers. I agree with you. It is a great problem to have. And in a market such as we're in right now, I think it's great. And it allows, the conversation to be open and fluid with your clients as to which ultimately works out best. So I'm all for it and think it adds a ton of value.
Yeah.
That said, I don't want to interrupt Dawn, but I have to jump off. I have at 2 o'clock, but thank you so much. I just wanted to get that out. It's amazing, and looking forward to same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow.
All right. Thanks a lot, Joshua. We'll see you soon. But for those of you who are staying on with me, I wanted to open up. Do you have any other questions?
Dawn, it's Jeremy. I have a question. How
Hey,
are you?
Jeremy. Good. How are you?
Good. So the multiple offers that you're showing us right here in this sheet, right?
Uh-huh.
And this, then you can obviously make it the Excel spreadsheet then, right? Like you said.
You can download it. Yep. There's a
Yep.
download file here. Mhm.
So the benefit of doing it this way is compared to just like my wife made she got 19 offers on a house
Wow.
over the weekend, and she had to create an Excel spreadsheet. She sent it over to the client. The client
Mhm.
looked at it. She could do that, but she could put it in here, make an Excel spreadsheet. Is the other benefit having it in here is compared to Excel is what then?
Well, you will have to put the offer in anyway.
Right.
I find that this is very simple because of the simplicity of adding the information. It basically pulls the data from the MLS. You would just add the parties, right? So who is working on the other side? It
Right.
asks for the cash amount, the finance amount, the earnest money. Are they pre-approved? Are they not? And what is your summary of that contract? Here's another thing I wanted to show you. So if you want to hang with me for just another minute, I'll show you another
And
thing
you're
that's
saying
fun.
if it gets accepted, then now you're not retyping all this information in. You're not doing double work with this. It's going to be creating an Excel spreadsheet. But
Yeah.
it's accepted, boom. I think the other thing is if the deal goes south,
Mhm.
which her one deal might, she has all the backup offers right in command. She knows exactly.
Right there. Exactly. So that's one of the benefits. Now, here's another thing. As long as you have your listing in the system, and you can see on the top left here, the listing, I'm not even sure if that's still even a valid active listing. So what happens is, you can generate an offer URL. So basically it's taking the data from the listing itself and all the pictures, and it's creating a link. So I can copy this link, okay? And then I can open it up. Let me just jump over here and open it up. All right, and I can send this link out to other agents. Now I know whoops, hold on. Screen sharing stopped. I don't know why that stopped. Let me do this again. Is it? It should be here. Are you guys seeing the questions answers, or are you seeing something else?
Questions and answers.
Questions and answers.
Okay, let me just check on something. Oops. Oh, I must have X'd out of my command. That's interesting. Okay, I'll work on that. Are we back to, we're back to the screen, the Zoom screens, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I will log back into Gmail. Just give me a second. So basically what happens is you can, you can create an offer URL. And then once you do that, you'll be able to send it to other agents to give you just that basic information. Okay, so they're actually just putting in their information and giving you data, and it'll drop right into your command system. So that's fun. And then the other thing you could do is if you have a buyer or you want to post something on Facebook, you can send it out there and say, hey, if anybody's interested in this property and you would like to, I'm having trouble getting on command now. Something happened. If you would like to make an offer or at least tell me what you're thinking, I would certainly take that information to my client. And then it's not necessarily the entire offer because you haven't gotten any documentation yet, but it's giving you an indication of who's out there and who is looking to make an offer. All right, I'm back over into the system and let me go to the offer tab and generate that offer. You're still looking at the Zoom pictures, right?
Yeah, it's still all Zoom.
Okay, yep. So I'm going to switch it over in just a second. I don't have my mouse with me today. I feel very lost without it. Let me go back to sharing screen. Go back over here. All right, I'm on an incognito tab. Okay, you should be seeing the offer form, correct? It says offer form for Fitzpatrick, 723 Training Road. Now, that is what it's saying is there's a picture in the background that's from the listing pictures. Okay, this is the Fitzpatrick-723 Training Road. That was just the name I gave it like a year ago, when I was training this class. So if I were to send this to another agent, the buyer's agent would fill in their name, right? Fill in their email address, and then because we definitely want to get back in touch with them, they would put their buyer's name in. That's the only thing that they have to put in. That's the only required information. And then they just tell you what is the basic information from the offer. How much are you putting down? What closing date? What's the contract amount? And today's date, right? Whatever creation date. So it automatically pulls the property information right from the MLS data that you gave it in the system. And then, of course, your name is on the bottom. It actually says seller, which I think is a little, that needs to be fixed. And then all they would do is submit offer. Once they did that, and that's why I have 9 of them in this, in here, because I used it several times to teach that. So once they did that, all of the offers would show up on this page. Okay, so think about the ways that you can use that. By sending that out in a text link to an agent just because they're on the road and they want to get something done fast, and just let you know that they have a very interested buyer, and when they get back to the home office, they can complete all of their data and their documents, right? So there's a lot of ways that you can use that offer process, okay? So tell me what you heard. It's already 2 o'clock. I've been talking for an hour, and I'd like to hear some of your ahas from today's class.
I really liked just comparing multiple offers. I did not know about that feature, so I'll be sure to be sharing that with everyone I talk to in our market center and for recruiting purposes too. I really liked that. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I think it's one of the great tools. It's underutilized. People don't realize it's there, and how many people, we just heard it. Who was telling me? Was it James who was telling me that they made spreadsheets? I did that when we had multiple offers years ago, all the time. Like every time that we had multiple offers, I'd create a spreadsheet. So here it is. It's right here, right? And you can have the other agents help you do the work by putting their information in, right? I think that's great. Awesome. So what else did you hear today?
I like to actually see that the updates are happening to command. Like from this is your second or third class I've been in. I'm not sure. I'm losing track. But just the addition of the commission breakdowns. I'm looking forward to the Teams version coming through. Yeah. But just getting to see that the updates are actually happening and becoming more useful is nice, because we keep hearing about them, but it's great to see them.
Yeah, the Teams version is active. You can use it if you're on a team, and we have big teams at our market center. At West Monmouth, we have some of the bigger teams in the area, and so our teams are using it, and they're using it at a high level. What we did is we actually started working with the teams first. When we were testing this out, we beta tested with our teams because they had the most transactions, and we could get through the learning curve quicker. So now the commission tabs are working with the teams, and so go for it and get through it. It's fun. It works really well.
Glad to see it all coming together.
Yeah, awesome. All right. If there's any other questions, I'll address them. If not, I will see you guys tomorrow. We're going to go over DocuSign, and so bring me your questions. I'm sure you'll have some. All right. Allison, did you want to say something?
No, just thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. I appreciate being with you guys. And I'm sure, thanks for I appreciate all the love. And I will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock, okay?
See you tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Have a great day.